Welcome to Reaction Time DUOLANE special, where we're going to go over the Cloud9 game that happened today. Is this a special one, Eric?
This is a special one. There's some spice.
Yeah, I would say so. So I think we should just jump right into the game, or is there anything that you want to cover before we hit play?
I think we can hit play.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, play. I didn't hit play. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
So you're like 2 seconds ahead. That'll be fine.
I'm at 19 seconds in the game.
You're at 19 seconds in the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm at 28, 29, 30. So.
All right. I hit play again, so I'll catch up.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this game's interesting in a lot of ways. First off, there's several of the spice picks that have shown up in Worlds already. Oh, look at that! They already found them. All right, flash blown. Nice. One big thing I would say is that Perkz has smashed lane every game so far this tournament with the help of multiple ganks from both the support and the jungler. So it turns out that gank mid for Perkz is a winning strategy at League of Legends, especially when he's playing spin to win champions like this game. So we're watching here the Cloud9 versus Galatasaray esports game from the play-in stage here. And so for people who aren't watching along with us, Cloud9's playing top Jarvan, jungle Talia, mid Tryndamere, bot lane Ezreal, support Leona, and Galatasaray is playing Jace, Xin Zhao, Silas, Misfortune, Thresh. So like this tournament's already been kind of bonkers as far as like the champ pool, and we'll talk about that more in like the full reaction time episode.
Which make sure you need to check out that full episode.
Yeah, but the Tryndamere plus Jarvan combo is some real spice.
Yeah, and I think it was mentioned in our Discord that picking MF into Leona is probably not a good call, or even when it's on the table.
The way it's actually played out in this tournament, it's been a trade where it's first off, assuming Amumu is banned, because Amumu is the OP so far in this tournament,
which I love.
There's like people pick the Leona after they pick the MF or vice versa, so that then you don't let them have Leona MF. And then also the whole intent of the Leona is MF starts ulting and you drop the solar flare and then you cancel the MF ult, which is like pretty effective. I'm actually kind of questionable on it for like a few reasons. You're not actually seeing it in this game. One of the reasons is that MF is this huge lane bully, and yet here it is, like Sven and Vulcan are up CS, so this like Thresh MF lane is not doing well, I would say. Because normally I would, like, in some of the other games in the play-in stage, we saw MF getting like, you know, like a 5-6 CS lead at this point already, just by hard shoving and landing Q poke, and that's not happening in this game, which is very concerning if you're like a Galatasaray fan already, because you really need winning lanes with these kinds of matchups. They do have a winning lane top though, so I don't know what the hell this Jarvan pick is, by the way, Steven. Can you tell me why you think they picked Jarvan with this team comp?
Yeah, so it's all about building a great wall, and many great walls with Italia, which is showcasing the early game advantage here as a first blood go to Perkz. And Vulcan was there in the wing, so that's a nice roam up for him. But lane Jarvan, I think, is very strong just with its ability to like survive, especially into Jace. Like, you can take the shove early and do actually good trade backs with his passive proc and the EQ combo and the extensions. And when you have a like farm like jungler worth investing in, like the lane presence that Jarvan has with the follow of the jungler, like, and I think that happens a lot in this game where just Blabber is able to like get a lot by either getting the kills or giving them to Perkz. So like top Jarvan with a powerful jungler is kind of what you're trading off. And Jarvan's good in general right now. I think he's like a top tier jungler, easily. So just putting him top, like if he's a top tier jungler, he's a decent tier top laner.
Yeah. Like, the only thing I could think of from, like, a team fighting perspective with this Jarvan is, like, one of the weaknesses of Tryndamere is if they can run away from you.
Yeah.
And so you put them in the little bubble, and then they can't get away. And then they're in the bubble with the Tryndamere. The ulting, and then, you know, potentially popping some kind of healing proc Tryndamere. Like, but it is kind of weird to me, though, because like you said, they're building this great wall. It's like, why have Talia and Jarvan? You know, it's like kind of almost excessive, because you have all these terrain abilities, and then you don't have any like combo CC or AoE to go with them, right? Because typically you'd want Jarvan with the Misfortune, right? So you put them in the bubble, and then you Misfortune ult over the bubble, and then you're getting like all the procs off.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like, you could put Misfortune on this comp and it would just be the most broken thing ever. But if we look back at the HLE and the LPL team, that I'm blanking on the name. LNG, thank you.
It's only my favorite team.
Oh, only your favorite. Yeah, you should know that. What you saw was like the Tryndamere was doing so well, except for when they couldn't control the choke points anymore. And so that's what this composition does. Like, you cannot enter any part of the jungle because like you're having so much extra terrain built up, and there's so much kiting and hard engage. Like, it has everything between kiting, hard engage, and controlling choke points. So Tryndamere is allowed to do whatever he wants, and he absolutely does.
So there's absolutely ridiculous bot lane fighting 6.5 minutes into this game, where like both Sven and Vulcan get away with like sub 150 HP.
Yep.
Is like one of the big things that I've seen is the difference between the major region teams and the play-in region teams in this tournament so far. Is that like play-in region teams, like when they commit to a play, they don't stop until there's nothing left to commit, you know? Like in that play there, it started pretty well with Zerg Sting and Alive, like, doing about even in that trade, and then the junglers showing up. They're showing it again here in the play. Like, Alive does pretty well here, as does Zergling, or Zerg Sting, right? They're doing pretty good, but then they, like, continue to like overcommit forward in this play. Like, if Alive had already backed off by this point, recognizing limits, and that like Sven still had heal, they would have only lost one to that gank, and it would have been fine. And then like Alive like sticks in too long, and then flashes away for no reason, just to die.
Too late.
And then here Mojito comes in after they're both dead to try and finish off an Ezreal, who's been popping biscuits the entire time. It's just tragic. It's just absolutely tragic. And like all of the play-in group teams have been doing this, where they just like they don't stop. And now Crazy's dead too. And
yeah, there it is.
Gank assist. That's sick. So I like that with the Jarvan. Yeah.
There's literally nothing you could do. You can't put wards deep enough to figure it out. You can't react fast enough. And the thing is, like, Jarvan loses that. Like, he all in, and he like one hammer drop, he would have lost that. But like instantly, Talia is there from across the map to put like probably as much damage down, and there's just literally nothing you can do.
Yeah, so for people like watching along, Blabber just ganked top lane, and so how it worked is Fudge went in with his EQ combo on Jarvan on the Jace, and then ulted immediately. As he ults, Blabber was in the jungle, kind of by Cloud9's turret, and then uses Talia ult to come over and out, and then walls behind where Crazy is in top lane on Jace, and like effectively puts another layer of walls between Crazy and getting to safety at his turret. And then so then he didn't flash, which was smart because it wouldn't have saved him.
No.
But then he's like trapped in this pit with Jarvan, and like Steven says, he's doing the damage, but all of a sudden there's two of them there. It kind of turns Talia ult into a Nocturne ult, where it's like you can't get far enough away, the damage will arrive, and you will get hit by Talia combo. there's not much there's not much out in this play pattern. So that makes this more appealing to me. Is like thinking about like the top laner jungle combo synergies that then all of a sudden they have here.
Yes.
In the meantime, I'm still looking at mid lane, where here's Perkz up CS on his mid lane Tryndamere. What have you thought about mid lane Tryndamere so far? Like, not like you mentioned the HLE game. Like,
I think it's really strong. I'm very curious how much longer it's allowed to get through, because it does seem to be an execution like litmus test. Like, if you're comfortable on it and you know the comps that it's going to work with and you know the matchups, it's really strong. But if you also are familiar with it on the other side and you can prepare and you can get to the weird middle-ish game where Tryndamere can get shut down, because I think if LNG wasn't so like precise in their team, oh my god, just dumpstered. Sorry, Fudge and Blabber are making plays, but then losing it all. But there's the downside, because they're really only advantageous in the when you have optimum number advantage. But LNG is such a unit when it comes to like focusing down and doing really precise things, and you saw like the Tryndamere like was gonna make it work with the split push and just diving onto the back line. But the mid laner for LNG, who was on Gragas, was basically said like, yeah, once Tryndamere was like running it down to kill our backline, I just like became Gragas and peeled, and we won because he couldn't get through.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, look at that dive. Oh, gross.
And this does show that Cloud9 can make some oopsie poos.
yeah, and here they go running it down. Like the fact that they still have yet to lose a game in this play-in stage with like how loose they're playing just shows like how much of a gap still exists, right?
Yes.
Where it's like when that play can happen, and then the Fudge Blabber like bush camp top lane when the mid laner's out of vision, and all this stuff is like, you know, it's like Cloud9. There's an interesting interview with or it was on the desk where Kaizen was talking, and I think it was Goldborg or somebody else who said Goldborg was like, Cloud9's overperforming his expectations, and Kaizen says Cloud9's performing to expectations. And I think he meant that expectations that Cloud9 should be winning games, but I also took that as Cloud9 is performing exactly as they played in the playoff bracket in NA.
Yes.
This is the same team. It has not changed. It's like with all their faults, but like they're still like just winning out on lane priority in some of these plays so far.
Yeah. Well, and I do think that the one thing that has changed is that Cloud9 does actually comprehend the meta that is being played here, and like they are already showcasing the mid Tryndamere, they're already showcasing the control of Leona, MF, that kind of like trade for power. They have some innovations they're showing with Talia and Jarvan. And what else did Fudge play? Fudge played something else up top.
Malphite.
Malphite, yeah. So there's a lot of flexibility that they're doing.
Playing some Steven champions.
Exactly. Yeah, I do like to see like my complete champion pool really well. It'll help me grind to gold in the last minute here. But I think that's where they were lacking in playoffs, and I might be wrong in that assessment, but I think they just were playing themselves too much and not even bothering with the meta, and it kind of tossed them a lot.
Yeah, at this point, you know, you beat them by killing them before they can kill you.
All right, so here we are. It's like 14 minutes into this game.
And time to A-Ram.
Well, like that's definitely what Galatasaray is setting up for. But that's because like that turret's still up and has like all those plates still. In the meantime, like it doesn't look like Perkz has had too much because he's only up like 10 CS. But on the flip side, he took that whole turret mid lane by himself.
Yes.
So he's a lot of plates. Tryndamere's pretty big. The gold is the gold is in Cloud9's favor, mainly on Blabber,
Mm-hmm.
who is pretty huge, which is good because he's their like one magic damage source.
Yeah.
And he is playing champ with good scaling. Like Sven is also pretty huge. Actually, looking at it, he's got 3 kills too. He's got a Trend Force already complete and is most of the way to. I think he's gonna be building Muramana here.
Yeah.
Oh, that stolen Leona ult missing is
Brutal.
awkward. But
Yeah.
now they're just gonna chase them down. So like here's where split push Tryndamere kicks in,
Yep.
right? Because like here they win the kill, they get the support dead,
But you're
and
still
then like
having you can't
Perkz is
do
pushed
the rift
into this
herald.
turret.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit harder to grab that one. We'll see if Blabber's in the area.
Because there's a dimension where Blabber doesn't get caught, and Tryndamere is just able to keep wailing on towers.
Oh, and here's Blabber just inting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think I'm still a little bit ahead, so I'm gonna pause for a couple
You're a
seconds.
little ahead.
And there, I'm back
and play. Yeah.
in.
So like Blabber inting is like another thing. Like they have a lot of. Oh, but like here it is like kind of falling with it. Like GS stuck around way too long. All of the rest of Cloud9 shows up.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just like there's not the best decision making still really showing. Like Cloud9 is really lucky that a lot of these mistakes weren't more punished.
Yeah.
Because this is, I mean, Galatasaray is doing really well, obviously, but like, I don't know, like making these mistakes against LNG or HLE, would we be seeing the scores we're seeing on Cloud9? I don't know.
Against LNG, it would be hard. Like, HLEs look pretty similar to Cloud9 from, like,
Yeah.
the games I've seen, where it's, like, Chovy plays out of his mind, and then, like, maybe Willer and Morgan show up, but, like, they run it down.
Yeah.
Like, some of their team fighting is just absolutely atrocious. Like, what are they doing? Vista, Morgan, and Willer just, like, completely forget how to play the game.
Hyphy. Too hyphy.
Yeah. So how does, let's see, so C9's up kills, they're still up gold somehow. They're
Yeah.
still up turrets somehow.
Well, Tryndamere.
Galatasaray has the Rift Herald. So they're probably going to drop it mid to finally finish this turret.
I think they drop it at, yeah, they're dropping it for the second
Oh,
one.
they're going to take the turret first, then drop it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty
I'm
good.
still ahead
Because
of
that
you.
means they're going to get charge on the second turret. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're actually going to get to finish this turret, though.
It's gonna be close. Yeah, they got it.
Oh, yeah.
But then Tryndamere gets his turret top, so.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's like this Tryndamere is gonna be really, really something that people have to deal with. I don't know if it's like probably pick ban. Is it? Do you think for the rest of the tournament? I think the showing might influence that a little bit.
I honestly think that
Eventually, Tryndamere just gets impossible for anyone to potentially deal with.
it'll be a marker between the good and the bad teams, where
Yeah.
the good teams can play Tryndamere and have it look good, and the bad teams can't play Tryndamere, and that'll be a big telling point in this tournament. The other thing that I've noticed out of this game is that mainly Silas has been played into like the Misfortune of Mumu comps, because you like take a Mumu ult as Silas and then you just like drop your Curse of the Sad Mummy with your better AP ratios. Which is disgusting, or you drop it with like the other alts, and like here Cloud9 doesn't have an Amumu or a Misfortune, yet Silas is still really good into their comp. Like
Yes.
you can get the Jarvan ult, which is what he's been doing for the CC. You can get the Tryndamere ult for just like living, and Silas also has like an absurd amount of healing in kit.
Yes.
So like there's plenty of like nonsense ults for him to take, even if he's not playing a wombo combo comp or as much of one. So
Right.
it's like I think Silas is actually like a pick that I'd be more curious to see people taking off the table, because it's like it seems like every mid laner has been opting into Silas as their answer to these comps. So like I wanna see people have to play other nonsense,
Yeah, well, I really like the Gragas pick into the Tryndamere matchup. Obviously, like the Silas is more considerate of the rest of the team composition. But like Tryndamere is defeated by catching him out and protecting your back line, because if he can't just kill like a couple people within his like health pool, like ooh, this is such a good fight for C9.
Yeah.
Yep, and then what's really interesting, I think, about this particular composition with at least Talia and Ezreal is that their kite is as effective chasing down. So, like, the ability to transition playstyle within a team fight is so powerful, and I think that showcases right there probably the best, and their ability to traverse like the terrain that they're creating and they're also fighting through, because they basically just like walked through the forest just throughout this entire fight. It is so funny because literally everyone can traverse or utilize the terrain that's being created or they're fighting through, because like Leona can get over, Tryndamere can get over, Ezreal can get over, Jarvan can get over. Like, terrain and the map means nothing to them. And to some extent, Talia can just roam.
Oh, so I'm kind of curious if like Ezreal's actively good in this meta because of his like kiting ability, or how much of it is just like the fact that, you know, in this playing stage we have like Sven and Deft, you know? It's like, how much of it is just that it's Sven and Deft in this group stage that like makes him look good? Oh, and we just had the infamous press R moment here. Yeah. If you ever wonder if you could be a pro League of Legends player, ask yourself, can I press R on my keyboard? If yes, why not?
Why not? Oh man, it's so funny. You love to see it. I hope that it is really known as pulling a Perkz. Like, he is requested on Twitter, so everyone just...
Oh, he requested it's called pull a Perkz? Is that like
just...
pulling a double lift where you just like, you know, don't flash?
Yeah,
okay.
Pull a double lift or doing an insect or those kind of things, just like...
Or like the broken shard, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, Steven. You know, do you remember the broken shard?
No, can you remind me in the audience what
it's dying level 1 to Krugs.
Yeah. I've never experienced that, so I wouldn't know what a broken shard is, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was an impressive hold to like not like give up the entire game after Perkz died there for nothing. Like it's pretty crazy. I loved when they go into Perkz' face cam after that play. Oh, they're doing it right here. This is great.
I can't believe he held it. There's no reason to hold it. Oh man, I'm trolling.
Yeah. And then like watching the team just like be like, oh no, yeah. Rainover's expression was my favorite in that. He's like,
that is. I mean, I don't know what's gonna top that. Maxwell does right there in the middle. The classic Mithy reaction. Oh, that's beautiful.
And I mean, like, it was really.
You love
funny,
to
but,
see
like,
it.
that almost was a huge
This is
asset for
also.
because, like I said, the MF bullet time bought so much space. If their turn was a little better, or they just
So Fudge has TP right here, right? Yes. Okay.
he does have TP up. So they have TP up.
Yeah.
They had him covering bot side. They've had Perkz clearing out vision because you know, on the bright side, Perkz still has ult. So if they try and, you know, like fight him here all in style, you know, it's Tryndamere.
I mean, he was holding it
dangerous.
for this moment, so he can apply pressure top lane.
Yeah, that's the big brain strats, you know.
Hey, you gotta do it too sometimes.
Oh, and they still don't give Fudge CS. Like, Sven shows up to take ult and then to attack this turret.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, your camera has gone boo boo. You should
oh no,
turn it on and off. There you are. Hello, friend. I missed you.
Hello. Yeah, so apparently Fudge only needs to get Gore Drinker, and after he gets Gore Drinker, they just never give him gold for the rest of the game.
No, I mean, because
that's all you need.
What is his
this
purpose?
This isn't his top Malphite game. Yeah, where like he got like tons of gold, so he could like, you know, Everfrost into press R. How do you feel about the Everfrost on Malphite, Steven? Mr. Shamrock.
Shamrock Shake.
Shamrock Shake. Yeah.
Like I am one to lean more into the like instagib a backline member at all costs, because it's funny. But like yeah, I can get behind the Everfrost like slowing an entire team and like being a team player, but that's kind of lame.
Well, it's that into killing them, right?
Yeah.
It's like because one of the problems you sometimes have with the Shamrock Shake, is like you big brain it, right? You just like assume that they're going to like try and flash or dodge or something, and then you like whiff your ult, and it's like you. I mean, and it's like not because you're bad or anything, right? It's just like, you're overthinking the situation, and so it's like a lot easier to deal with that if you appear you are, and then they actually have to try. It's like, all right, I'm gonna hit you with my stun slow field first.
Oh. I do hope they make Fudge play Sejuani top too, just to complete the trifecta.
So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Sedge top is dead.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about it more in the real episode, but like in the LS and Nemesis champion tier list, like Sejuani jungle maybe, Sejuani top straight out, and they like predicted a lot of these champion picks being viable, even the ones that were like less expected. I feel so far, so like them saying no Sejuani is pretty bad. Sometimes you just sacrifice Thresh, like that's the fate of playing Thresh. I've been really impressed with Zergstang so far this tournament.
Oh yeah.
In the other games, like he seemed pretty solid. Thresh doesn't actually seem good in this meta, I will say. Like, which is really surprising because he was busted at like playoff time.
Yeah. Well, I think like honestly, like this game in particular, I think like some fear was playing into, because like after like the debauchery that happened in bot lane where like there was too much aggression, like they like pulled it off way too much, and when they were aggressive and when they were committed to a plays later, it looked good, but then like I think all of this top lane stuff, like Zergstig was just kind of like the only one being aggressive, and everybody was like, hey man, we're not really like about that anymore. He's like, why? We're like, I don't know man, we're just really not feeling it.
Coming in late was probably looking like, hey, I'm gonna try and line up this ultimate to get some cleanup kills, but Sven just shifted on top of his face and just started auto attacking.
Seen a lot of melee Ezreal today.
Look at that damage from the jungler.
Yeah, you liked it. Well, and that's the value. If you can't put a high damage top laner in with the Jarvan in the jungle, just put Jarvan top and put a high damage jungler in. Like, I really like this composition a lot. I hope this is what other teams see and fear, because I think there's a lot of ease of use for Cloud9, so like you might have to pull it away from them, at least some of these components, so they just can't keep doing it. Because it's kind of hard to screw this up at this level of play, in my opinion. Because they tried their best to throw this game at different points.
They really did, yeah. There were like several times with people getting caught out and not pressing buttons on their keyboard, forgetting that Baron is an objective on the map. Yeah, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, but they got the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you love to see it. I'm very excited for the hopium that this is giving everyone. Everybody's just like, that's good, 3-0. But we'll talk about this in the regular episode, which you should check out, because it'll either already be up or be posting soon. So you know what, I might like put like a link to it in like the information here. I'm gonna look at the camera and wave around, so when I'm editing this I know to put this point in. But
all right, well, that's it for DUOLANE.
The DUOLANE special review of Cloud9's third win in this World's tournament, so you like to see it. Alright, make sure you follow, subscribe, buy the merch, share this video, flame us, tell us we're wrong in the comments, and do all that good jam stuff, because we appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.